how to escape the 9 to 5. Welcome in, much love, Trav here. Well, living in the 21st century is a land of incredible opportunity, as we've been saying, to travel and to work where you want to work, how you want to work, for who you want to work for. There's never been a better situation generally compared to any time in history to do this. That said, it's not going to be easy, and it's not going to happen for everyone. And the general path that a lot of you are going to take is towards a 9 to 5. So the question is, how do we avoid that 9 to 5? How do we escape it? Welcome and much love, Trav here. Currently in DC. I'm packing up to head to Fairfax for an event this weekend. Well, I'm going to see international competitive Magic players there, and then headed on the road for a couple tournaments. When am I going back to California? I don't know. I don't know that I want to right now. I'm having too much fun doing this. So was hanging out on Discord, live chat last night, and I got the question, man, how do you escape from the 9 to 5? So first, my background story. I wanted to escape this from the beginning. You know, I did the 6 to 3 for a long time. The high school, middle school, wake up at 6 a.m. I'm an owl, so it's really fucking hard to get up before the sun for me. Slept all the time, felt sick all the time for years. High school is not easy for me, right? And I read Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Work Week somewhere in there. I started to see some things possible with the internet around that time, and I wanted to make this happen. So for me, I had many years preparing for this, and I started to make money online through blogging competitive Magic, and started doing some basic YouTubing in college. I was actually YouTubing in high school, just starting, not consistently. Writing articles for other people in high school. So I had a lot of time to do this. Definitely did not happen overnight. I had a lot of not like 9 to 5 jobs during this time, but I worked during the summer in high school to get some of my own money. I worked during the summer in college. I worked during the year in college. I had part-time jobs starting at 8 a.m. and then classes at 10, and was writing along the side. So I had multiple jobs at the same time, worked as a server and so on. And when I finished school, and this is part of it, you know, the story's going to be different, and I'm not going to just share this from my own experience, some stuff that I've read as well and other people's experiences, but moved back in with my parents. Thank you for taking me for about a year and a half, didn't pay rent, and hustled as hard as I could. I had a game plan. Fortunately, some things worked out well for me. Was able to save up about enough to leave and go travel and figure it out. And I've been on the way up. I've had some ups, I've had some downs. But in the last 4 years, and this isn't 5 years, this isn't, you know, maybe you want this, maybe you don't. I haven't been in the same place for more than 6 months. I've been to Europe 3 times in this period. Been to Hawaii, been around the US, been in California, been in Washington, been to Mexico. You know, and I've built my own following, I've built my own business. Things are getting more and more secure. Opportunities are getting better. I have more opportunity to travel. I have more opportunity to help people. And I'm getting more and more experience, so I have more and more fun when I travel as well. And I have more and more fun doing what I'm doing. So that's my story, somewhat, the short version of how I escaped the 9 to 5. I spent many years in that 6 to 3, you know, that high school, and I had 10 years working to avoid the 9 to 5 in advance. So it's not going to happen necessarily overnight where it's like, you know what, fuck this, I quit. I'm going to start working online, or I'm going to take all my clients with me. It might take you 8 to 10 years. It might not be easy, but I mean, you don't have, whatever niche it is, it's all moving online now. Not everything, but it's all supplemented by online. So it's definitely possible. We'll talk about some things I've seen, and then we'll get into some specifics. How to avoid the 9 to 5. Well, how to escape the 9 to 5. You're not going to like this, but one of the ways is to work a 9 to 10. Work a 9 to 10. You get off at 5 and you work your second job, and only when your second job is paying do you quit. So like if you have a family, this is what you're going to have to do. You're not going to be able to say, move back in with your parents when you're 33 with kids. So I mean, actually Elliot Holst did that. Actually Elliot Holst with his wife Colleen and their kids moved back in with his parents when he was starting strength camp. So maybe you could do that if you really want this to happen. Or you can work the 9 to 10. The secret to six-pack abs, that guy who has the ebook, super millionaire. I think he was working like 3 jobs. He had his regular job, and then his job as a trainer. Or I think his regular job was maybe as a trainer. He had 2 to 3 jobs, but he didn't quit the 9 to 5 until his second job, his six-pack abs online training, was making roughly the same. And then now he kind of works how he wants to work, travels how he wants to travel. And that's kind of a common story. It's like, you have to really want it 9 to 10, you know? And for me, there was a little bit of it, you know, I definitely had time to play and do fun things, and mixing work and play for me was really important to this, to make it possible, because I would use my weekends to further my work career, use my Friday evenings to further my work career. Yeah, I'm playing games, but I'm blogging about it, I'm writing articles. So even for me, it's like I get off work, or I get off school or my part-time job when I come home. I even remember back when I had that 8 a.m. job in the cafeteria. It was pretty quiet at that time, and I would write articles in my head while I was going around cleaning the tables or whatever, thinking about the future. So that's the key to that. So the 9 to 10 is a way to do this. And the key thing here is from the macro perspective. By the way, I'd love to get some feedback on this sort of video where it's just a picture and me talking. I find that I prefer it. It's one thing, it makes it easier for me to focus on the spoken delivery. So if you think it's really missing something, let me know. If you think, hey, this should be a podcast, maybe I start throwing it up as a podcast, but the Tibu podcast, I don't know what it would be called. It doesn't need to be my name. Free Life Movement podcast. Right, anyways, I want to know. Macro. Okay, another thing that is super important is you have to have a game plan that is proven. And a lot of people don't do this. They think they can just wish their way. You need to have a strategy. You need to have a mentor who has done something similar, can work. You need to have pay for internet training, pay for business coaching. I've done this all. Definitely when I was starting out, there was an industry that existed, and I had one guy in particular, Mike Flores in Magic. A lot of people hated on him because he wasn't like a great player, but he made a living doing this through his content. So I would study him and I would pick his brain, message him like, what's the right, take notes from him and so on. And then later on, when I was transitioning from blogging to more coaching, I invested in business coaching from Alex Vitkin at Daily Business Hustle, and from him I got a whole delivery process, a whole business model that has worked out incredibly. And I had to invest like a third of my remaining money with no cash flow at that point, like half of my remaining money, but it was totally worth it. So I mean, there's Tai Lopez 67 Steps was great. Elliot Holt's entrepreneurial installation system was great. Gary Vaynerchuk, personal branding on Udemy was great. So I mean, you can maybe it's real estate, maybe you're doing something else entirely, but you should have, if you don't have an in-person mentor or someone you can talk to through the internet, you need to have a path laid out, and there's a lot of different options for that. So educate yourself. Tim Ferriss, 4-Hour Workweek, right? It's not like, forget school for a minute, because school, it will teach you some things, but it's not going to teach you how to take control of your life in this way. So when you're done with school, you're done with your 9 to 10, you have 2 hours left, you have an hour left after dinner or whatever. Read books from entrepreneurs. Damon John, The Power of Broke, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Richard Branson, Live Life to the Full. You have to sacrifice now a little bit, but it will pay off, and it can happen faster than you think. I think back to even a year ago. It's not like I came up so much on money, but enough that I'm not stressed about it. I am, and this is maybe stupid, I need to fix this, paying for rent in a place in California I haven't been at really almost since October. 6 months. I've been there 1.5 to 2 months at that time. Been traveling the rest. So, and 1 year ago, I was in a basement, sleeping on a couch. That's true. And I have some videos in here. You see me in front of that bookshelf in that basement. It's like, well, it can happen fast. It might not happen fast. And again, it looked like it happened fast because it's a roller coaster. Sometimes you make a mistake, or the market turns against you, or whatever. So there's ups and downs, and the down can come right after the up can come right after the down. Learn lessons along the way. Let's go into some more in-depth thoughts. I need to get going, like I have to catch my ride here. I've got 55 minutes before I'm late, actually, and I have to pack. So let's go into some specifics, or some philosophy. You have to make Millionaire Fastlane. You should read this. You want this kind of freedom, you have to really change people's lives, and you can do it either in depth or in width. So you change someone's life in depth, in magnitude, you're changing a few people's lives massively. You find a way to save someone's life, save 10 people's lives. 10 people are indebted to you, you're keeping them alive. You're gonna be in a good spot, right? Or you can go with width. If you're able to make 1 million people's lives just a little bit better, then you're going to be in a really good spot. If you can do both, change a bunch of people's lives massively, be Tony Robbins, then you're going to be swimming in freedom and money, because that's just the way it works. People will pay you if you're good. When we talk about this, it doesn't mean you definitely should be working a lot, and there's going to be a lot of work, especially starting off, but because of leverage, you're not getting paid for work. It's possible to get paid for doing very little. It's also possible to get paid very little for doing a lot. because the market doesn't care about how much you work. It doesn't care about how much gas you put into your car. It cares about how far the car travels, right? You don't get points for putting in more gas to your car. You get points for taking that person further, right? It doesn't matter if you're there or not. There could be no driver even. It could be an automated Google car, and you don't even have to be there, right? And you'll get paid the same, if not more. So the question is always, how can you increase your impact? And for me, videos is always a great way. I don't run nearly enough ads as I probably should right now, but that's a way to get stuff in front of people. You really change someone's life, they'll talk about you in person, and that's kind of the biggest thing. It's like, for me, I want the potential to change your life in a massive way, so much that you're going to talk to other people about it and it's going to spread. Or you're going to be in a position like me where you're doing what you really want to do and living an awesome life, and you can say, like I said with Tim Ferriss, I watched some Travis Wu videos years ago, and it really changed my perspective on what was possible. That's the kind of impact that I want, and it's possible through video, because I'm maybe on the other side of the world from you right now, but that just doesn't matter in today's age. I might have recorded this at a different time than you, but you don't need to catch it at the same time. I don't need to be there in front of you anymore. I can do this while I'm packing my stuff up, right? So that's important, is whatever you can do to leverage. Another thing is systems. You have to have systems in place, organization. When you're helping someone, they're going through a process. They're going through a repeatable system. The more you can systematize things. And I also learned this from one of my mentors, Jordan Hecker. He let me crash on his couch. He's a lawyer in Seattle, got a bunch of property, boss for sure. And he says, you want to systematize your delivery as much as possible, where it's predictable and it gets predictable results, makes it organized. You can have a team do the delivery at this point, where at this stage your teammate does this, has this sort of call with your client or whatever. Or you can also do this through automation, and that's the beauty of today's world. Like, not only can you hire someone in the Philippines for $4 an hour and give them great pay over there, you can hire robots to systematize things, where you watch this video and then you click on the link, and then my MailChimp automation email starts sending you emails, and then you get an automated email, and then you sign up. Maybe you can pay for something through PayPal, which is going to give you some videos that are going to be more tailored and help you, or something like that. And then that can all happen while I'm sleeping. I had to be awake to build that funnel one time, right? So whether you have a team or you're taking advantage of the new opportunity of automation, the more you systematize things, the better. And then here's one more factor to keep in mind, and there's kind of an opposing force here. Number one, the more you systematize things, the more you can take yourself out of the equation. And the more you take yourself out of the equation, the less dependent things are on you being there to help people. The more things can just kind of happen. You can hire people, or you can have the automation do all the delivery for you. And that's how you can really sleep, be on the beach or whatever. Or work on other projects, whatever inspires you. Right, and that's how you can also sell a business. You see this on Shark Tank. It's like, actually you are the business, so this isn't really, I don't like that, I'm not going to invest, right? If you're able to take yourself out where, anyone can deliver this following the system that I created, I own the system, then the value delivery system is going to work out. And then that means you have someone handle the sales, or you have some videos handle the sales, you have some deliver the marketing, the ad. You have someone handling the ads. You have someone handling the delivery, or maybe you pick the one thing you like and focus on that. Me, my favorite is just the delivery, basically helping people who have already paid me. So, and I like to make YouTube videos. So I found a way to automate my sales process so I don't have to get on the phone and try to pitch to people anymore, which is really nice. So it frees me to focus on the things that I want to focus on. That said, I've got some kind of car alarm going off over here. That said, you also want to set things up so that you're invaluable to the process. You want to make yourself invaluable to your work. You want to make yourself invaluable to your employer. You want to make yourself invaluable to your clients so they have no other alternative. There's no one else that does what you do. You have no competition. You've got a blue ocean in front of you. And the way that you do that is you be you as much as you can. You be you to the fullest extent, as unique as you can. You do things in your brand, your style, your flair, your way. You do things, right? And that can only be you. And that's where the contradiction is, because on one hand, you want to remove yourself from your own process as much as you can to free yourself up, but you also want to be invaluable to it, because if you're easily replaced, you will be replaced. It's okay to be easily replaced if you own that process, but if you don't, then you're not going to last very long, right? So it might mean having total business deliveries. It might be you're a member of an online team and you need to make yourself invaluable to that team. If they realize that they can just replace you for someone from the Philippines for $4 or whatever, then you're fucked. So you need to make yourself invaluable at the same time as systematizing things. And key to this is just doing the job as well as you can. And it doesn't matter what your job is, right? I talk about Officer T. Norman 23 on Instagram, really famous police officer. Famous for what? For being really good at his job. He's extremely friendly, popular within his community, and he's so good that he's got 1 million Instagram followers for it. A story from Hawaii, I have a Lyft driver named Bliss. She's on Instagram as well. Actually, let's go ahead and pull her up here. Oh, there's T. Norman right there. Living dreams, not drama. I'm on that's her, but I'm on airplane mode. I think of her because, I'm taking lifts around, but she had this whole, I don't know if I want to call it life coaching, inspirational, rhyming. She had this whole performance she did once you get in her car. And it was so above and beyond expectation for a lift. Not only did I give her a fat tip, but I'm talking about her now, and next time in Hawaii, I'll try to look her up, right? So just because she was so good at what she did at a Lyft, right? So it doesn't matter if you're a Lyft driver, if you're a police officer, if you are a YouTuber or a competitive gamer, but you can make yourself invaluable at your job and have people talk about you and seek you out and come back for you and say, I don't want a police officer, I want Officer Norman. I don't want a Lyft driver, I want Bliss, right? I don't want any YouTuber, I want to listen to Tiwu, right? That is, I think, really key. And then I should really start going, but we're in the flow here, and I want to keep talking again. Let me know feedback. I should probably put this into a podcast form, because this shit's powerful. I definitely believe that. I'm putting everything into this. So another thing, talk about investing. The most common thing people think about is, I'm going to invest in my 401k or IRA or whatever, so that there's money later to pay me back. That's what we think of investing. I'm gonna invest in real estate, cash flow, etc. We don't think about investing in our body health so we get better returns over the years. We especially don't hear a lot of people talk about social investments, having a social safety net network, right? So for instance, if you've changed 1 million people's lives and those people have direct contact with you through, say, social media, and you have some medical emergency, you're gonna be all right, right? You can crowdfund it. You have invested in enough people that will repay you. You've changed enough people's lives. If you have helped 1 million people and they have contact with you over social media, and this is why social media is so important, to retain contact with people, you really change people's lives. Say that shit goes wrong for your business, like it did for me a year ago, 2 years ago, but I've got 10,000 good followers and fans, then it's not going to be too hard to launch a new service, and people will invest in that because you invested in them in the past, because you invested in your social safety net. So one of the best things you can be doing right now is investing in your friends, investing in your family, investing in your follower base, giving things away, giveaways, or doing small live streams so you can interact with people live. They'll remember that. Doing as much as you can for your audience, showing them love, much love, right? So that's all very, very important stuff that makes it all possible, and ultimately makes it possible to escape the 9 to 5. Escape the 9 to 5. So there it is. I've put out a lot of resources for you to look at. I don't mean to present myself as having all the answers. A lot of the stuffs I regurgitated from various mentors and online training I've had along the way, books I've read, and you should go check that shit out. I've got a link, freelivinggoals.com/books. Should be a link to that somewhere for those, and I've got a list of the entrepreneur books I've read. Or you can check out some of those guys on YouTube as well. And let me know what you think in the comments. If you like this format or you don't like this format. I know video is important, supposedly, but maybe this works better for some of you. Anyways, I got to pack. I don't want to be late for this event. So I'm out of here, and I'll see you tomorrow, or I'll see you in the comments today. So stay blessed and much love. Peace.